Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of The Bald Brad Show. It is officially Friday, heading into the weekend, which I'm very much looking forward to. It is Pi Day 3-14, and well, I hope that it's going to be a great day for all of us, especially that we're kicking off the morning right with not just a cup of coffee, but with The Bald Brad Show. I appreciate everybody joining me and choosing my channel to hang out with the rest of the Patriots and to catch the news before you start work, or maybe you're at work. Maybe you just want to get away from the husband, the wife, the kids, who knows? But I'm thankful for all of you nonetheless. And one thing I love about Fridays, it's more relaxed. It's more lax, we're just hanging back, we're chilling. We're like Joey on the beaches of Delaware, just kicking our little feetsies in the sand. But really, I do love Fridays. It's kind of a special day for me because, again, like I said, there's not much. I don't say there's not show prep. There's always show prep. But I get to hang out a little bit more in the chat. I get to look over at you guys a little bit more and hang out with you. Because, look, I'll be honest, sometimes I feel like I'm being left out. And what I mean by that is you guys engage in like really fun stuff, and I like don't have an entire opportunity to like physically engage with you, and it just seems like a lot of fun. It really does. I can tell some of you have a really good time in here, and that's exactly what I wanted to create. So, well, enough of me talking. Hit that like button if you haven't already. It does support the channel. Even though YouTube is shadow banning us, believe it or not, it does help a little bit, and any help we can get, we will take. Well, check this out. A lot of random news, if you remember. Again, a lot of random news for Friday. We catch up on things that we haven't talked about before, or maybe it's breaking. You have right now Donald Trump. What's going on here? Donald Trump orders military to draw up plans to retake Panama Canal. I'll be honest, yo, I did not think he was going to do this. I thought he was going to take Panama Canal, but I didn't think homie's going to be coming in with military. Things are going to get a little spicy here. President Donald Trump has reportedly ordered the United States military to come up with a variety of options for retaking the Panama Canal as he seeks to push communist China from operating around the canal. NBC News reports the United States Southern Command is spearheading the effort, which includes everything from partnering with Panama security forces to United States military retaking the canal by force. Oh, shit, dude. Yo. Officials said that whether the United States military is used depends solely on whether Panama complies with the U.S. demands. Basically, Trump's saying, look, if you don't want to give it to us, we are going to take it from you. And here's the thing. People have forgotten, if we wanted to, I'm not saying that we should be doing things like this, but if we wanted to, we could just go do it. It don't matter who you are. When you have the greatest military force that's ever existed in humankind, you could do things like this. It's just that we have ethics, right? We have morals, or at least we like to portray we do. I understand we've done some pretty evil things ourselves as a country. I'm not saying we're not, pardoned for all those things. But Donald Trump is not wrong here, especially, look, we built the damn thing. It's ours. If we built it and men died for it, I say that we could take it back. That's what I say. Are we shut down over on Rumble? Nope, we're still good. Okay. Officials said that the United States taking over Panama was not out of the question, but would likely only happen if an increased U.S. military presence in Panama did not achieve Trump's goal of taking back the canal that the United States paid for and built. Trump said that the United States would be reclaiming the canal, and efforts around taking the canal are already underway to do so, with the goal being to further enhance our national security. Well, national security and maybe a little bit of some other stuff. You know what I mean? Maybe we could start charges of people going through the canal, make a little extra dough, a little extra casholé for America. But you have this right here from the report that said privately, Trump has told his advisors, that he sees a U.S. military presence in Panama and on the canal itself as critical to that effort, the U.S. official said. Trump has also made it clear that he wants U.S. service members to be visible in the canal zone as a show of force. The Trump administration officials have argued that China has too large a presence near the canal. In the event of a conflict, they say Beijing could shut down the canal to American shipping, including military ships. Now, Democrats want to shuffle their feet in the beaches of Delaware and not do anything, like we saw with Joe Biden. Donald Trump understands that there's real evil out there in the world, that this idea that we need to just sit back, deplete our military forces, lower the standards even, or start removing military bases, lower the budget for military spending. Democrats I don't know what it is. They don't think that there's still real evil out there that wants to rid Western civilization from existence. Donald Trump understands that. Donald Trump gets that China is not our friend. They're not an ally. And if it came to it, they would go to war with us. And how do we know that? Because they've said it time and time and time and time again. And by the way, that's what they're doing in the South China Sea, is building up that area militarily. Why on God's green earth would you do that if you weren't planning at some point in the future to go to war? There will be a war at some point in the future. There's no reason as to why you wouldn't be building up these forces. By the way, Donald Trump probably has intelligence as well, showing that there's something going on here, to the point where he wants to see if we can get Greenland, to the point where he wants to get the Panama Canal. He's doing all these things. You would imagine there has to be some sort of intelligence, or treat it as a safety net so that we're strategic in what's happening here and we can protect ourselves. You know who's not going to be able to protect themselves? The Europeans, which is why they're acting like idiots right now, doing these reciprocal tariffs on us. Again, as I've mentioned yesterday, and I still think it's a good plan, for however many billions of dollars that they're going to hit with tariffs, double the amount that we're pulling out of NATO with. That's fine. Folks, we're spending like almost $1 trillion on NATO. That's fine. Get rid of it. I got no qualms. I'm not saying get rid of NATO. I'm saying get rid of the funding that's going into it. Cool. You guys just want to make the point that the phone call might not work. The phone might not work when you're calling. That's just what it is. Yeah, no, Russia's invading. The phone's not working. Yeah, phone's not working. I'm being facetious. Okay, I'm being facetious, but you get kind of the point, the analogy that I'm making. You got to say you're being facetious and joking, because the progressive left, they're not capable, you guys, of like, oh, maybe that's a joke. Maybe that's satire. They can't read between the lines. They can't take the benefit of the doubt. Anywho, enough of that. We got Putin in the mix here. We talked about this yesterday. Look, I'm so close to the camera. Hey, can you guys see me? Jesus, let me back up a little bit. I'm sorry. Hey. Like, smell my breath. Like, God, Brad, back up. Jesus. Putin says he's backing Trump's ceasefire proposal, but only in principle. It's a step forward. It's a step forward. This stuff takes time. You're dealing with Putin, first of all. It would be no different if you're dealing with China. It's very similar if you're dealing with the Iranians. The Iranians, I would say, are, well, we'll keep it that. Russian President Vladimir Putin has agreed in principle to the 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine, although the exact details would have to be brokered by with the United States. Folks, the reason why I want to be careful when talking about the Iranians is I get death threats from those guys. Okay, that's why I'm a little bit careful. Okay, you gotta choose your battles, and the days you choose them, gotta be careful. The idea itself is correct, and we certainly support it, Putin told a news conference in Moscow. There you go. But there are issues that we need to discuss, and I think that we need to discuss it with our American colleagues and partners. See the way he phrases that? That's kind of colleagues, partners. They're the ones that we want to work with. We want to advance certain ideas, and maybe who the hell knows. But either way, you have the negotiations that are being kicked off here with Marco Rubio. The announcement comes just days after Ukraine offered a temporary truce at the urging of the United States. In February, the ongoing invasion of Ukraine by Russia entered its fourth year, and President Donald Trump has been made ending the conflict a priority for his administration. God, could you imagine if he ended it? If he still, not that he will, because there's freaking lefties that run the organization, but if he ends this, can you imagine him? How could he not get the Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, I can't believe he didn't get it last time. And now again, the left would lose it. He's not a guy of peace. He hates women. He hates black people. He's not peaceful. They're a bunch of idiots. But it's possible. Now, we don't know necessarily what's inside the deal itself, but Ukraine has been vocally skeptical of any deal with Putin, pointing to his history of re-engaging on previous agreements. And I think Ukraine is right to kind of point that out. And Trump's like, well, the deal's going to be so secure while I'm in office. They're not going to do anything. But again, what happens when Trump isn't in office? That is the real question. That's why you can't have a president that's a pussy. That's why you can't have a dollar like Joe Biden in office, because people see a sign of strength or a sign of weakness. And boy, oh boy, they saw weakness under Joey, and everybody just did everything they wanted. Joey cashed checks probably to keep some people in line, which is why we're sending billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars out there everywhere. So we'll keep you obviously updated on the war in Ukraine, because not only is that a big deal for Ukraine, but it's a big deal for us as well, because we want peace on earth. And quite frankly, I don't want a World War III, because I like my life and I like hanging out with you patriots. And if we went to war, men are dying, women are dying, and I don't get to hang out with you guys anymore. Can you imagine we're on the front lines? Fucking shit's crazy, patriots. Hit the like and subscribe button. I make myself laugh. Hit that like button, though, really, if you're having a good time here. Let's check out the chat. No, good morning to all you guys. Greatly appreciate everybody saying to each other, good morning. Hey, Brad, hope your week has been going well. I'm up here in the mountains in California. I'm snowed in now, but pray for clear roads soon. I miss work. Well, I hope you're safe, and I hope it gets cleared up soon. It has been pretty cold for us in here in California. I live in California as well, but you're up in the mountains, and I did hear it snowed. So I don't know if it's going to change anytime soon, because it's going to be raining and it's going to be cold the next few days. He doesn't trust Zelensky at all. I don't blame him. I don't trust Zelensky, dude. The guy's slimy. Remember, they were supposed to have elections last year. The Ukrainians are supposed to have elections, but don't worry. They're a democracy. Oh, why couldn't they? Well, they're in the time of war. We've had elections in the time of war. I know we're a republic, but we have democracy embedded within that. Oh, they're legit. Yeah, they don't lose your money and, buy personal things. Oh yeah, no, you're not paying for their pension and all that shit, their education, the roads. But don't worry, it's all military. Yeah, it's all military. Yeah, we're not paying for the retirement. And then they have fun now. Yeah. That of course that's not happening. How could it happen? Come on. Well, we got Chuck Schumer, the Penguin. I'm telling you, if this guy was in a Batman movie, this is what the Penguin would look like. Am I wrong? Chuck Schumer looks like a villain from Batman in Gotham. He is the Penguin. He looks like it. Well, he caves in the shutdown showdown. They were calling it Shutdown Schumer, or the Schumer shutdown is what they were calling it. On Thursday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who is just scummy, man. This is the swamp. The hair plugs look just swampy too, man. That hairline receded decades ago, brother. Let it go. Declared that he will not vote against moving forward with the Republican-backed stopgap bill to avert a partial government shutdown at the end of the year. What changed, Chuck? Chuck? Yeah, come here, Chuck. Come on. Come here, you little idiot. What changed? All of a sudden you don't have your big boy pants on? Did you give them to somebody else? Huh. The announcement in which Schumer criticized President Donald Trump and the Department of Government Efficiency effort led by Elon Musk. Well, you didn't have a problem when Barack Obama talked about it. Yeah. No, Joey was actually the one that's supposed to helm it, believe it or not. Yeah, Doge, back with Barack Obama. Weird, Chuck. You didn't say anything for like a decade, almost 2 decades at this point. But now that Trump does it, because he does anything, even whether you guys supported it or not, it just has to be bad because Donald Trump is the one doing it. Even though he pushed your initiative, basically, which is Doge, which was talked about by Barack Obama and was to be headed by Joe Biden, and that he's actually doing it, all of a sudden it's bad because it's Donald Trump. Orange bad man, yeah. Just a whiny little bitch, Chuck. Effort led by Elon Musk marked an abrupt turnaround. Well, how long was this turnaround? How long did it take? Just 24 hours because everybody bends the knee and kisses the ring to Donald Trump. They all bend the knee. You could be Colombia, you're bending the knee. You could be Mexico, you're bending the knee. You could be Canada, you're bending the knee. They all bend and they all kiss the ring. They kiss the ring of daddy. marked an abrupt turnaround. Just one day ago, top Senate Democrat insisted the Republican majority did not have enough votes for the House pass continuing resolution to clear a key procedural hurdle. Quote, while the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse. Let's see if he actually details them out, because they love to say things, but not actually, give the receipts. I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is far worse option. I'm not even gonna bother playing because I don't want to hear his words. I'll read them. I believe it is my job to make the best choice for the country to minimize the harms to American people. Therefore, I will vote to keep the government open and not shut it down. Isn't it remarkable this guy says minimize the harms to the American people? Chuck, you idiot. You were sending $59 million in condoms to people in Mozambique. You were trying to trans mice in West Africa, you idiot. Don't tell me you're trying to minimize harm. There's massive fraud taking place to the tune of $661 billion with Medicare and Social Security fraud. Yeah, you heard that correctly. About 10% of our entire budget is fraud coming from Medicare and Social Security, Chuck. Don't give me this crap. We need Doge. What's the big deal? It's just 10%. Right, this is Democrats thinking, what's the big deal? It's just 10% of the budget. It's not like it's the biggest piece of the pie. Because idiots don't know how budgets work. Why? Because they don't budget themselves. So a partial government shutdown in which non-essential federal employees will be furloughed is set to begin at the end of Friday if the funding bill is not passed. So it seems like it's going to be passed. I don't have an update on that as of yet. It's still early in the morning, but it's going to pass. Now let's get into a little bit of the EU as we continue and progress through our show. We have the EU wanting to take advantage of the United States. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but Ireland was also one of the people that was taking advantage of the United States. So here's Donald Trump talking about how the EU is taking advantage. We played this yesterday, but I think it's a good clip nonetheless, and I want to segue it into another clip in a moment.
The EU was set up in order to take advantage of the United States.
Including Ireland? Is Ireland taking advantage of the US?
Of course they are. I can't, I have great respect for Ireland and what they did, and they should have done just what they did. But the United States shouldn't have let it happen. We had stupid leaders. We had leaders that didn't have a clue. Or let's say they weren't business people, but they didn't have a clue what was happening. And all of a sudden, Ireland has, our pharmaceutical companies and other this beautiful island of 5 million people. It's got the entire U.S. pharmaceutical industry in its grasp. And you mentioned housing and you mentioned other things. I mean, I have property in Ireland, as you know, and I love it. It does great. But I'd like to see the United States not have been so stupid for so many years, not just with Ireland, with everybody. I looked at trade deals. I was telling the group yesterday, I looked at trade deals in term one. It's one of the reasons I decided I had to do this, because somebody had to straighten it out, and I didn't see anybody that was going to. I looked at trade deals that were so bad, I'd actually say, how is it possible that this could have happened? Who would have been so stupid to let these deals happen? For instance, when the pharmaceutical companies started to go to Ireland,
We'll end it there. He's talking about how, he put a 200% tariff on it. If you're curious on what I'm laughing at, it was during the same meeting that Donald Trump was talking. He just stops what he's doing. And he just laser beams to JD Vance's socks. And even JD can't contain himself.
I have to speak of inflation. I love these socks. What's with these socks?
President Trump.
I'm trying to stay focused, but I'm very impressed with the VP's. I have to speak.
I just love how he's just in the middle of talking, and he's like, "Your socks."
I have to speak of inflation. I love these socks. What's with these socks? President Trump.
Now, I have a better view of them for you. Don't worry. We got you set up here. There's the socks that JD was wearing. Now, here's the thing. I relate to this so much. When I was an accountant, I would wear socks like this. I would have Star Wars socks. I would have like Batman different themed socks. I would have Batman socks that were obviously business, right? They were actual dress shoe socks, but they would have like a cape in the back. I'm like that. Like I have different styles. So I don't have any with me at the moment. But anywho, so what I was laughing at too was somebody wrote Trump seeing JD Vance's socks. I saw this while you guys were watching that clip. And this is why I was laughing. Seeing that. Anyways, I'm sorry. I'm having my own fun here on the side all by myself, just cracking up at stuff. You guys are watching the clip. Oh, shoot. We have a good time here. Or at least I'm having a good time, as you can tell. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a good time. And that's what it's all about. One of us has to have a good time. It's either going to be you, me. I mean, if it'd be ideally both, but you guys, at least you know I love doing this. I have a good time. Though, yeah, those were some interesting socks. It makes sense, though. Not only St. Patrick's Day coming up, right? But you also have the Ireland there, the guy from Ireland. So it makes sense. Vance is a showman. We got to get Trump some of those socks. We do. Well, speaking of the EU, the Germans are back. Well, allegedly, Angela Merkel, covered up explosive German intelligence report blaming Chinese lab for a pandemic. I don't know what it is with the Germans. They can't get it together. They haven't been gotten together for quite some time. These are the same Germans that wanted to buy energy from Putin and Russia. And when Donald Trump talked about it at the round table, remember how everybody laughed at him? Remember in 2017, 2018, he was at the meeting with like, I think the G7 people or whoever, the EU. And they're like, hey, we're going to get energy from Russia. I'm paraphrasing. Trump's like, you don't want to do that. You trust me. You're going to pay the price if you do that. And they just start laughing like, oh, what does this guy know? Well, it didn't take long for that one to come true because they started burning wood. They had no energy. They started burning wood. When you see countries having to burn wood for energy, that's the most primitive form you can get in terms of finding energy. So yeah, it didn't work out well for them. But remember, we're just idiot Americans. We don't know what we're doing. Donald Trump's just a knucklehead. He doesn't have a clue. Guy's been right about pretty much everything. Former German Chancellor Angela Merkel allegedly covered up a report from her country's foreign intelligence service that concluded that the likelihood that the coronavirus pandemic originated from a Chinese lab was overwhelming. See how scummy these people are, right? And we were the conspiracy theorists. We were saying for years that it was from a Chinese lab. It's from Wuhan, from China. No, it's not racist. It's from China, right? We were the bad guys. How often, it's remarkable how often we ended up being right. Over years. I want to see if anybody can read that. No. Anybody want to give this a go? Bunt and chest and Christ to this. No. You give that a go. Sometimes you guys, oh, Brad doesn't know how to read. No. You give that a read. Now, there's probably a German in here like, oh, you stupid. Sweet Jesus. How do you say that? Anyways, this is what I love about Friday shows. We could, we have a little bit more fun. Yeah, let me get this. Now I got to figure this all back out. There we go. All righty. Well, German version of the CIA. BND. Conducted an intelligence gathering operation that concluded that there was 80 to 95% likelihood that the pandemic originated during a lab accident at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Merkel likely made the decision to keep the explosive report secret, at least in part because she did not want to help President Donald Trump's re-election prospects in 2020. Wow, that worked really well. Well, it did, actually. And you want to know who worked? Maybe Maybe the fact that the BND, which is the Germans' version of the CIA, worked with the CIA, also worked with our foreign intelligence officers to also cover it up, kind of like they did with the Hunter Biden laptop. Makes me wonder how much of these agencies are actually in cahoots with one another and were circumventing and holding information from Americans, but also their own people. It's disgusting stuff, really. Now, governments are known to do this. I shouldn't be beating them up too much. We're talking about the Germans here. But, you know, our people did it as well. It's from China. And then it comes out from China. It's amazing. Remember how it was so racist? It's so xenophobic. Yeah, just so terrible. God. Nothing Trump does is right, according to them. Nothing. It's frustrating. Very, very frustrating. If you're having a good time, folks, hit that like button. Yeah, see, butt snack. What the hell are you guys talking about? Snatch dem buns. Got it. What the hell's happening? Why are you guys talking about snatching buns? Shit. She has the same haircut as the kid you just showed. Shit. You're right. You're right. And I got rid of it. Oh my God. Who said that? Is that Emmy? That was Emmy. That is awesome. Shit. It's stuff like that why I can't spend too much time looking at the chat. God, dude. This is why if you're a lurker, like you're not in here with us in the chat, you have to be. Because the Patriot community is freaking hilarious. Well, the Trump effect's in effect. Aerospace giant making a $1 billion investment in the United States. How many companies are making these type of investments? In another sign of a victory for the Trump administration, GE Air Force, which builds and designs jet engines, components, and integrated systems for military, commercial, and business, and general aircraft, as well as aerodivergent gas turbines for marine applications, announced it would invest nearly $1 billion in U.S. factories and supply chains in 2025. Double what it invested last year. But I thought, look, why would people want to invest right now if everything was going so poorly? Donald Trump is clearly doing something right to the tune where Apple wants to invest $500 billion. You have these steel companies wanting to invest billions of dollars. You have these tech companies wanting to invest billions of dollars. Now you have these aerospace companies wanting to invest billions of dollars. So why would all these companies pledge all this and do it? I mean, pledging and doing is two different things, to be fair. But why would they do this if they weren't feeling confident about where things are going? Investing in manufacturing and innovation is more critical than ever for our future of our industry and the communities where we operate. We are committed to helping our customers modernize and expand their fleets while scaling technologies that will truly define the future of flight. Together, this will keep the United States at the forefront of aerospace leadership. Yeah, I would like so. I'm tired of relying on other countries for everything. And in part, this is one of the reasons Donald Trump is utilizing tariffs is because if you even out the playing field of the cost of producing some product and you're competing against somebody else that can do it cheaper, well, if you can offset that price, you would rather have it built here. Again, it all comes around with there's people out there that want to do evil things. I don't care who you are, but a lot of these authoritarian governments, totalitarian governments that still do concentration camps to this day, some of these governments still allow slavery to take place, by the way. You can't rely on them for your stuff. And I don't know what it is when you have conversations with people and you express this sentiment going, I want stuff to be produced here in the United States. I understand it's going to cost more, but you know what? You might not have any of this stuff if we go to war. And they can't rationalize the risk assessment behind it. Hey, it makes more sense to build our freaking chips here. Let's build the chips here. Let's build our own aerospace industries here. Let's drill our own oil so we're not relying on Saudi Arabia or whoever else for the energy. Let's start building our electric grid. Let's revamp our electric grid so that when China at some point in the future probably blows a fucking nuke in our aerospace or our airspace, that we don't have basically a giant EMP bomb taking out our entire electric grid. Let's revamp that. How about we stop sending millions and billions of dollars for all this bullshit climate change stuff and spend it on our infrastructure so that when somebody does something like that, you don't have 60 to 70% of Americans dying in the first 6 months. I don't know if I don't know if patriots are aware of that. The United States government did a risk assessment of what would happen if China did something like that. A huge majority of Americans are dead quickly in the matter of months, by the way. But don't worry, I'm sure glad that we're spending our bullshit on Black Lives Matter, trans activist initiatives, and climate change. That's going to really help when China just launches something over our airwaves. Just perfect. No, it's a great use of our money. And then Kamala Harris, the dumbass that she was, goes, let's electrify our entire military force. Idiot, man. I don't get it. Maybe I'm a doomsday person. I don't know. I'm not a prepper, really. You know, I take care of myself. I take care of my family. You know, I got stuff ready to go, but I don't understand I don't understand why it's such a bad thing to want to make sure that you're protecting Americans, which I would like to point out is the job of the president. The reason for government, yeah, to govern, but also to protect. God forbid that you do that. You know, it's such a terrible thing that he wants to protect you guys. Oh. Goodness. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Cece. If you are new, hi, welcome to the best. We're going to pin that. Look at that. You guys are showmen. Your hospitality. You know what's cool? Is if you look, you know, I always say this, Trump and Vance are showmen. Like they're very, very good at hosting events. They're very good at hospitality and they're very good at making you feel welcome. Can I just highlight you guys really quick? I see this all the time. You guys saying good morning to each other. You guys are highlighting new people that are in the chat. You're making them feel welcome. This is something that Republicans and conservatives do very well in, as well as independents, and is a reflection of who we are as a party. So I just want to thank you guys for doing that in the chat, both at Rumble, YouTube, X, wherever. You guys are a good reflection of the channel. You're a good reflection of the show. So I just want to thank you guys for always doing stuff like that. It's something that should have been highlighted a long time ago by me, but it's something that doesn't go unnoticed. All your chats do not go unnoticed. Sometimes I have to turn the head because you guys are going to make me laugh and I'm trying to get through content. We have illegal immigration news here. Previously deported illegal alien. He's just here for a better life. Remember, it's always about just here for a better life. The guy's just here for work. Well, he was charged with shooting a man in front of his 7-year-old daughter. Oh, no, it had to have been a mistake. Yeah, no. How did an illegal immigrant get a gun? I was told that doesn't happen. No. I was told by Legacy Media, we played the clips here. I was told that how could they get the gun? They can't get guns. They're not citizens. How does that happen? Well, they went to the loophole. There is no loophole. The fuck? The loophole is you buying it on the street. That's the loophole. You cannot go to a gun show. I have firearms. That's why I always tell people, don't fuck with me here at my home. It ain't going to end well for you. I'm always clear, right? We get threats here. It ain't going to end well for you. Okay? I want to be very, very clear. You do background checks. You have to take a test. All that stuff. I mean, I guess it depends what state you're in. But you understand what I mean. Oh, they can't get guns. They're fucking idiots, man. But don't worry. They're going to make sure that you don't, as a law-abiding citizen, have your gun. But the illegals will make sure they have theirs. Or these criminals on the streets, they'll illegally get their guns. But you won't be able to protect you, your family, your kids. Doesn't matter what it is. Because you got a bunch of Democrats that have their head up their ass. That's what's frustrating. They don't understand that word infringe. Infringe. Now, I am probably one of the most hardcore Second Amendment advocates you've ever seen in your life. I have my friends that are hardcore Second Amendment advocates. And let me just tell you, when I expressed how hardcore I am on it, they almost spit out their whiskey when I was hanging out with them around a bonfire. I would go as far as I think you should be. If you can afford an F-22 Raptor, go get one. That's how hardcore I am. That's probably my most extreme viewpoint, to be honest. That's probably my most extreme viewpoint. Anyway, federal authorities charged a previously deported illegal alien on Tuesday after he allegedly shot a man in front of his 7-year-old daughter. Jesus. In Nashville, Tennessee. It's so, now nothing against people in Nashville. Nashville is an amazing state. I've actually been through there. But it was so interesting to me because for years, everybody said, well, it's illegal immigration is really just contained to California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. It's kind of just, that's where it kind of is. It's never going to come this far up here. They're going to have to deal with it. Their states are going to have to deal with it. And I said for years, whatever you see happening in California will come to your state, whether you're red, green, blue, it don't matter what your state is, it will come there. It will happen, and now you will be affected, especially early on. I'll even give you the exact segments that I was talking about this specifically. When Joe Biden was flying illegal immigrants into the interior of the country, I said, you're about to be affected on a scale you've never seen before, because we were showing footage, body cam footage on the tarmac of different airports. They were using arenas without the knowledge of the local areas, the citizens, that they're actually utilizing arenas to harbor these citizens. They were closing off sectors of airports and keeping illegal aliens in that area to keep them contained without the knowledge of people. Told you it was going to affect you, man. No matter where you're at in the country, you always got to look to California to see how something's going to affect you later on. A 36-year-old Mexican national was allegedly drinking heavily at a house in Nashville neighborhood where he began arguing with the victim. The two men and the victim's young daughter went outside, and Delago allegedly shot the victim several times before fleeing the home. So fleeing the crime scene, but just a good guy. Yeah, just out there drinking. No worry, no big deal. Authorities say that Delgado, all right, we got to do with the accent. Delgado left behind his Mexican passport. I shouldn't be shocked. They're also doing it at the southern border. They just threw away their passports at the southern border as well. It only makes sense that he'll leave it behind there. 14 shell casings, jeez. And his truck at the site of the crime. How do you get a truck? If he's an illegal, how do you get the driver's license? Oh, it's weird, isn't it? Huh? Somehow got a gun, somehow got a truck, somehow got this, somehow got ammo. Well, ammo's not really the big deal. The victim was transported to the emergency room and received life-saving medical care. The illegal alien was who federal authorities say has been deported from the United States twice, has now been charged with possession of ammunition by an illegal alien and unlawful re-entry into the United States. Delgado could face up to 15 years of federal prison, which you're going to have to pay for. This is what I want to happen. I don't want him in federal prison. I want him in that El Salvador prison on a discount that was offered by the El Salvadorian president. That's what I want. You can go there. Have fun. Why? It's going to be cheaper. It's going to be vastly cheaper. The guy, it would have been, he doesn't even have to offer a discount and it would be cheaper to send them there. I really, hand to God, I don't know why Trump's not taking this up. I really don't get it. Send them there. You have the discount and you're good. We're saving money at the end of the day. It's confusing to me. I don't know why not. I'll try to see. I got some people that I know. I'll see if that's something that he is thinking about actually doing. I don't know. I think it's a great idea. Send him there. Cheaper. The meal's bland. Drag with the $10. Thank you so much. Still with the FJB tag. I love that. That's not going anywhere, is it? $10 over at Rumble. Greatly appreciate you. You guys help keep the lights on. You guys, just to let you know, I always say you guys, ladies, you're just part of the boys, okay? You're part of the Patriots. We're making a splash with ads. So everything you guys are contributing is helping tremendously. And if you're not capable, please don't feel like you have to. I'm always clear about that. But if you have the means, 100% of our proceeds goes back into the show. None of it goes in unless you tell me to buy a cup of coffee or something like that. But we are killing it on ads right now. You guys, in some cases, we're getting like 1,100 to 1,400 subscribers a day. We will be getting close to 10,000 a month. Like I said, in a matter of months, we are going to hit it's not a matter of if. We are hitting 100,000 this year. We might hit 150,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's bonkers. And it's all thanks to you guys for your contributions. You're helping me out. It's just always appreciated. I just want to highlight that. So if we, I don't want to do like a freaking advertising campaign thing, but it could happen quicker if we double the budget. If we don't need to double the budget, then we're not going to. But just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you. Always appreciate it. You guys are hard-earned money. We're all working here. And if you're new to the show, if it means anything, I work 3 jobs and I do this as a hobby. So I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning to do the show. We got a lot of new people. Like I said, we're getting 1,100 plus a day. So you're going to hear me repeat certain things because a lot of people are new here. And some people might think this is my job. I literally just do this for fun. Even if I wasn't making money on it, which honestly we don't, because everything goes back into it. We don't make a profit here. It's all for fun. So I just want to thank everybody. It is awesome news, right? It's pretty crazy to think about. It really is. And I don't have anybody else. I tell everybody this. I'm a loner. I don't have a lot of friends. I hang out by myself, and I hang out with you guys in the morning. So when I say things, it's because I don't have anybody else to share them with. I have my wife, of course. She's always willing to listen, but she hears all this all the time. I talk about the show and you guys all the time. Enough of it. So I got to share it with you guys. And also, it's our community. So, frig, man, we're getting big, dude. Now, you got to ask the question. I shared this yesterday, and I think it's more appropriate to bring it up on a Friday. You have to ask yourselves, and I will always say this, and I'll look you guys straight in the face. Hand to God, I could look at the Lord himself in the face. Hand to God, I've never bought a subscriber. I've never bought a like. I've never bought a comment. You could do those things. You can actually go to third-party websites and do all of that. I've never wanted to do that because I'm a conservative Republican, first of all. And second of all, YouTube has always been down my throat and looking at me like binoculars, like, what's this guy doing? So if they ever caught wind, if I ever did something like that, guess what they would do with my channel? They would delete it. So no way in hell am I screwing around with that. You have to ask yourself, why? And this is not me complaining. I just want to speculate here. And I know you guys know this. Why is it somebody can hit 100,000 subscribers and their views don't change? We've been talking about this for 3 years. We've had the same viewership for 3 years, and we've only exponentially grew. People don't subscribe if they don't like your content. So that whole thing of like, well, maybe your videos just aren't that good. People love the show. There's a reason why every 1 in 10 person that watches the show loves it. Yeah, I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying it's the best one out there. There's a lot more people, have a lot more production, a lot more greatness and everything like that. I think we do a good job here for somebody running it by themselves as a hobby. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, does anybody else think that's a little weird? Am I the only one here? I think it's a little odd. I think it's a little weird. 100,000. We've stayed the same. A lot. I don't know. So I'm going to try to bring it up to, there's a guy that, I don't want to release his name. There's a guy that helped me with the advertising. And I've talked about him in the past, like the first guy to actually help me. And it's amazing that when you actually get the help and nobody screws you over, things can progress. So my ex-wife spends most of her existence on a virtual reality world. I feel like I jumped into the wrong chat at the wrong time. What the fuck? Wrath, what are you talking about? Are you drunk? Shit, St. Patrick's, where's my watch? St. Patrick's Day is until Monday, brother. Very weird. Okay, so I'm not the only one. It's 100% weird. Makes no sense. Yeah. Now, like I told you guys yesterday, I did put my information into the artificial intelligence. Obviously, again, I hate using that. Like, oh, well, I know statistics, so I'm able to understand this stuff. I also did auditing. I'm able to look at data really easily and make understanding and make meaning from it and be able to see how the outgrowths of that affect things, all that stuff. Obviously, it's bullshit. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, I should pull it up. AI, it didn't. I didn't even ask it if I was shadow banned. I was like, hey, here's the information. First thing on the list, you are shadow banned from YouTube. And the only way to get around it, they said you actually need to run ads, which obviously I knew and we have been doing. So I just wanted to express that to you guys. Isn't that crazy? We're going to hit 100,000 and we're going to stay at 500 views a video still. We've been at 500 views for like 2 years, dude. And we've grown by like 50,000 plus in 2 years. But don't worry, it's normal. We were told it's normal. We have the receipts. We have a video. Literally have a video of me talking and showing you the chat of YouTube going, yeah, no, it's complete. That's a normal thing to happen. And then guess what? I hit up Rumble's team behind the scenes and they go, yeah, there's no fucking way that's happening naturally. Yeah, no way. Anywho, let's get to the next one here a little bit. Latin America country sees drop in migration to the United States, attributes decline to Trump's border policies. Whoa! I was told they didn't work. What? I was told these policies didn't work. Well, who said it? Well, let's take a trip down memory lane. Joe Biden, John Kirby, Jake Sullivan, Jen Psaki, and then Karine Jean-Pierre, Sideshow Bob. I don't know. No. I spent freaking years listening. It's Republicans' fault. Republicans don't want to secure the border. Republicans don't want this to get done. You need legislation. And Democrats still eat up that whole thing. They heat up that whole bit. Jeff says, Brad, I could do it. I could do it. I'm like a human calculator. Emmy says, you were shadow banned. Probably someone sabotaged you on purpose by reporting. I would reach out to YouTube and see if they could fix it. I've reached out for 4 years. I've reached out every year, multiple times. They won't do anything. They claim nothing's happening. I'll actually be a little bit more clear before we jump into this. When we have a video showing it, they claim they would never do such a thing, Emmy. That's what they say. That's almost actually a direct quote. They say we're not capable of doing something like that. Sure. The Colombian government has noted a drastic increase in the number of Venezuelan migrants that appear to be returning to their country of origin, and a drop in the number of migrants attempting to reach the United States. Changes that the Latin American government attribute to President Donald Trump's border security measures. Colombia recorded just a little over 9,300 Venezuelan migrants who entered the country from Panama between January and February, marking a drastic increase from the previous year when only 4,000 Venezuelans entered the country from Panama. The change is an indication that an increasing number of migrants have abandoned their attempts to enter the United States. Well, it's going to be a little bit hard now that you got a guy actually policing it. You know, a guy actually executing the laws in the books, which is what you voted a guy in for, to execute the laws through the executive branch. I know, go figure. God, you elect a guy to do his job. Huh. The report of the Colombian government attributes the increase to new immigration policies of the Trump administration. The majority of migrants indicated they came from Mexico, where they had been waiting for an appointment with U.S. authorities for 1 to 3 months. With the change of U.S. immigration policies, they made the decision to return. Whoa. Where were they coming from? Mexico. How long were they there? Hold on. No. There's a point here. 1 to 3 months. I was told we couldn't be doing things like this. I was told the Remain in Mexico policy was terrible. There's so much crime happening. How could you keep people there? They're fleeing persecution. They're fleeing famine and drought. How could you? Well, it turns out you can. And it turns out it was just a bunch of fear mongering happening from the progressive left and Democrats. Now, I'm not saying heinous crimes don't happen there at the border. Of course they do. Mexico's ran by cartels. They're like one of the top countries in crime in the entire world, which is more reason why you secure the border. But Democrats can't figure that out. If you say things like that, you're just a racist. How could you say that about minorities? Well, there's other people coming through the southern border, you dweebs. Okay, it's not just Mexicans down there. There's a bunch of other people. Can't wrap their head around it. So, looks like it's working. It looks like you could do Remain in Mexico. It looks almost as if they could seek asylum in said country that they're crossing through. Well, they made the trip from their country to Mexico, and they made the trip all the way back. I'll be honest. I've seen some of these people making these treks. They're overweight, so it can't be that difficult of a trip. I don't mean to be rude here, but if you're severely overweight, that's not easy. I've been overweight for myself. My overweight is not overweight for a traditional American. Because I played sports my entire life, so me feeling out of shape is still in shape compared to Americans, if that makes sense. So again, me out of shape is like an American in shape. It can't be that difficult then. If a 5-year-old's making the trip and walking, I don't know. Now, people are going to take that out of context. Oh, how dare you? How dare you diminish their struggles? You're so sick. You don't have empathy, you freaking bigot. You MAGA supporter. It's like, come on. Like, settle down, okay? So good on Trump for securing the boards. Exactly what I voted for. Exactly what I voted for. I am getting everything I wanted, other than the deportation levels that I thought was going to happen. Look, he's not meeting my level at all. And I'm glad there's people still sticking around, because I was thinking about this the other day. We were talking about how Donald Trump is deporting, right? He's, securing the border, doing all these things. And I wanted to make it a point, and I actually did not clear it up in the show, and I want to apologize. I started talking about assimilation and how that could affect the country, and your country's culture can change. And when your country's culture change, your politics change. When your politics change, there's an opportunity for just the government within itself to change, and your government can go usurpacious on you. The reason why this is a problem for me is because the whole purpose of Democrats allowing this amount of invasion to take place is to have these people get amnesty, become voters, and vote Democrat. Over 90% of first-time voters that are here illegally that get citizenship vote Democrat. That was their initiative. And I always said this, you would have never a Republican president in your lifetime again if these people get amnesty. Well, if they're still here in the tune of 25 plus million illegal aliens, there's more illegal aliens in this country than half the population of our states. I'm going to say that again because I think some of you just spit out your coffee. There are more illegal aliens in the United States, present time, than half the population of states. Now, the phrasing there is very specific. Donald Trump is not doing enough. Folks, don't make me pull out the hat. I voted for the guy 3 times, okay? I voted for him before some of you voted for him. And I will always say that. I stood in line with my father before he passed. I stood with him in line to vote for Donald Trump. We were giddy about it. We were just 2 patriot men standing in line together in my hometown to vote for Donald Trump. And I'm glad I stood with my father because he's not around to vote for him again. And I stood proud by myself in the voting booth. I said, Papa, this is for you. Now, I didn't say it exactly like that, but it's pretty damn close. The point I want to make here is Donald Trump needs to start doing more. These numbers should be like 10 to 20,000 a day. This thing of like, well, let's do a few thousand a week. That ain't working out, folks. And I know maybe you don't want to hear that. Truthfully, on this one, I don't care because this is what I voted for and I wanted more done. Trump is expected to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to authorize the rapid removal of Tren Aragua members from the country, with many expected to be sent to Guantanamo Bay Naval Base. The law allows the president to arrest, detain, and deport non-citizens aged 14 years or older who come from nations that are mounting an invasion of predatory incursion in the United States. The gang was one of the entities that the Trump administration designated as a foreign terror organization of the president's first day in office. So now if you get a Democrat in office, what are they going to do? They're going to reverse that. And all of a sudden they're going to be cool. They're going to be cool with having gangs run roughshod over your hometowns, take over apartment complexes, and then use the media and tell you that's not happening. So while your ass is probably getting beaten down by illegal aliens like this gang here, and you're watching the news and they're saying it's not happening while you're getting your you-know-what beat by the very illegal aliens that they're saying doesn't exist. Bonkers. Craig's in the chat says, Brad, where's the prosecutions for crimes against humanity, seditious conspiracy, embezzlement, and extortion for taxpayer money, misappropriation of taxpayer money? I agree, Craig, and I think it's, look, let's hold a little bit. It's only been like in a few days, it'll be 2 months. We got 4 years. Let's give them some grace and time to kind of compile things, but I think you're absolutely right. There's a lot of fraud taking place. There's a lot of money going to different areas. I want accountability for all those people. I don't care if it's Social Security, Medicare. If you took that money and you did it and you know it's fraudulent, yeah, I think there's 2 routes. You go to prison for a fucking long time or full back pay. I'll take either one. If you want to pay all that money back into the system, okay. Because then we can pay down the deficit, right? That's what I want to do. So look at this. The gang is a transnational organization that originated in Venezuela with cells in Colombia, Peru, Chile, with further reports of sporadic presence in Ecuador, Bolivia, and Brazil. The gang, this brutal criminal gang, has conducted kidnappings, extorted businesses, bribed public officials, authorized its members to attack and kill U.S. law enforcement, and assassinated a Venezuelan opposition figure. Now, you have to ask yourself, why didn't Democrats make this a terrorist organization? Because they love it. They do. Their actions do not show otherwise. I am not going to change my tune on this until the Democrats' actions say otherwise. They love illegal immigration. It's all their cities. It's not, I don't even think there's a Republican. Is there a Republican city out there that is a sanctuary right to shelter city? I don't know of one. I'm sure there might be one. Unelected guy. But boggles the mind. They love the trafficking. They love the crime. They love the smash and grabs. They love the lawlessness. They love the homelessness. They love the crime. They love the fentanyl pouring into the country. How do I know all this? Because for 4 years, I watched them allow it to happen. And they loved it so much that they continued to vote Democrat, even in the midterms. They loved it so much that they were willing to vote for Kamala Harris that would have only exacerbated the problem. That's how I know they love this stuff. They are all about it. They will never change. Look at the state of California. Look at Portland, Oregon. Look at Seattle, Washington. Look at New York City. And then you get a mayor in there like Eric Adams, who did exacerbate the problem, but then realized, oh man, maybe Democrats aren't doing the right thing here. Changing his tune slightly, willing to work with Donald Trump. Bonkers. Just bonkers. If you're new here to the show, hit that like and subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. Mostly the like button, but if you feel like we deserve your subscription, it's free, folks. It's not going to cost you anything. You just need an account over at YouTube or follow us over at Rumble. If you feel like becoming a member, preferably transfer that membership over to Rumble, or you could go over to YouTube and become a member. I think it's just 99 cents a month. Yes, for 99 cents a month, you can become a member and you get a cool badge and it gets highlighted. And the whole purpose of that 99 cents level was for people to feel a part of the community. And it's less than $12 a year. So I can't go any lower because I don't think it even allows me. But there's also $4.99.99 option. Please don't feel like you have to. I always emphasize this. It's just there for those that want to give back to the community. They feel like they're getting something out of it and helping the show grow. So that's why it's there. Like I said, 99 cents a month. You can become a member over at YouTube. $4.99 over at Rumble. But Rumble takes care of us more than YouTube does, as you can see. So with that being said, that's the end of Friday's episode, man. I'm sure we will go live at some point over the weekend. We skipped out on a Dark MAGA podcast. Yesterday was my birthday. It went well. And I just used that time to relax. And I know a lot of you understand that, but we'll be back here definitely Monday. I don't really have anything to add here. I went through everything I wanted to. Have a good weekend. St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Please be safe for those out there. Don't look. I know I'm talking to a bunch of adults, but I still feel like I need to say it. Please don't drink and drive, you guys. Call a freaking Uber, call a buddy, walk home if you can. Just don't drink and drive. Don't end somebody's life, nor your own. We love you. Just act silly. You know what I mean? If you can't afford it, message me on X or something like that. I would rather you get home safely than do something stupid, okay? Really, I do mean that seriously. Some people struggle with things, okay? We all have sins. We all have problems. I just don't want you doing something stupid. Just, if anything, if you know you're gonna get belligerent, have it already queued up, right? Have a person already prepared to drive you or whatever. So take care of one another. Love you guys. Thanks for everybody that contributed. Thank you to everybody that supports the show. And have a safe weekend. Be blessed. Do something nice for somebody, even if it's holding a door open, complimenting somebody's dress. Men, don't do that because, you know, you might get a lefty. They'll freak out on you. But you guys know what I mean. With that being said, take care. I'll see you later here on The Bald Brat Show. Take care, Patriots.